If you're thinking about moving to Matawan, New Jersey, stick around. I got just a video for you. Today we're going over the top 3 pros and cons of what it's like to live over in Matawan. We're going to cover a whole host of topics like the commutability into New York City, cost of living, and a few others. But before we get started, if it's your first time to the channel, my name is Steve McCutcheon, and I'm a realtor at Berkshire Hathaway. On the Live in Central New Jersey channel, we cover everything related to the Central Jersey real estate market. So if you're the first one to know what's going on in Monmouth or Ocean County real estate, feel free to click the bell, hit the subscribe button. Let's get this video started. The very first pro has got to be the location, and as you can see from the map coming up, Matawan is going to be located in the northern part of Monmouth County, and it borders a couple different towns like Marlborough and Aberdeen in Monmouth County, and then over in Middlesex County to the west, you're going to have Old Bridge too. So being that it sits in the northern part of Monmouth County, it's an excellent spot to commute into New York City, and it isn't necessarily the biggest town by any means, but it sits kind of right in the middle of the pack, so you're looking about like 2.5 square miles. If you want to commute, one of the best things that you can do is probably either drive yourself, take the train, or take the bus if you're looking for public transportation. So driving yourself, the easiest option, at least in my opinion, especially if you live in the northern part of Matawan, you'll have access to the Garden State Parkway, and that's going to be the main road, basically take you straight into New York City. So it's pretty much a one-stop shop for you right there. That's going to be a toll road and one of the 2 major highways that we have here in New Jersey. And the other one's going to be the New Jersey Turnpike. Depending on where you have to go in the city, you might actually get off the Garden State Parkway, and then where that and the New Jersey Turnpike intersect, you might then take the Turnpike into New York. But again, all just kind of depending on where you work exactly. And between all 3 different commutes to work, whether you use the train, the bus, or you're just driving yourself, they're all roughly going to be about the same time frame, about an hour and 15, maybe an hour and a half, like pretty much to that max. So they're all relatively pretty efficient. Now, if you want to go take the train, the best one's going to be in the Aberdeen Matawan train station for you. That's going to be located in the northeastern part of Matawan. And then the last one's going to be taking the bus. There's quite a few different stops that you can take, but I would say between Main Street and Route 34, that's probably going to be one of your more popular ones, and that's where NJ Transit can go pick you up. So those are your 3 main ways to get into New York City. Now, things have changed slightly with commuting into New York City here in 2025. They actually laid down a kind of like a commuter's tax in a sense. It's called the Congestion toll. And what happens is if you're driving your car or your personal vehicle into the city, they are going to ding you quite a bit. It's $9 during the peak pay hours, and that's going to be between 5 a.m. and 9 p.m. So pretty much any way you look at it, if you're going to be going to the city, you're going to get hit pretty good on taxes. I did make a video on it recently, kind of going through all the different ways and what's the cheapest, what's the best option for you. So if you want, I'll link to the video down below for you. But just something to be aware of. So if you are driving yourself, it actually is probably going to be more expensive than taking public transportation nowadays. So something to look into. Like I said, I'll link that video down below for you. Con number 1, unfortunately, is going to be the cost of living. And this isn't just necessarily for Matawan in a sense. Anywhere pretty much in Monmouth County, New Jersey in general, we are going to be quite expensive. I will say a little bit of a caveat to it. Matawan does have some relatively good home prices compared to the rest of Monmouth County. Their median sales price is only going to be $520,000, whereas the median average for all of Monmouth County, that's going to be $680,000. So a little bit of a savings on that one. But if you look at it from a national perspective, Matawan's still going to be about $100,000 more than the median sales price across the entire U.S. So while it's better, I guess, for Monmouth County, it's still more expensive than the majority of the country, I would say, in a sense. So that's nice. But the main thing we're talking about in terms of cost of living is going to be the property taxes, and they can be relatively pretty high here in Matawan. From the websites I was looking at online, it looks like Matawan has a 2.4% effective tax rate based on the assessed value of your home. So if you ever look at like your tax records, you get that in the mail every year. Your assessed value is going to be between your land and then the building on top of it. They typically are not going to be equal to the actual true value of your home, but what the town just assesses it at. So typically it's going to be 2.4% of whatever that number is if you're living in Matawan. Now, where does that stack up with the rest of New Jersey, Monmouth County? Well, for New Jersey, you're looking at about a little over 2%. So it's going to be higher than that. And then if you're looking across the entire board of Monmouth County, it comes in a little less than 2%. And then across the entire U.S., it's about 1% only. So Matawan's definitely going to be on the heavier side for property taxes compared to pretty much the state, or I guess basically the entire country at that point. Pro number 2 will be the school system and education. So the Matawan Aberdeen Public School District is going to be rated an A- according to niche.com, houses a little less than 4,000 students, and has a 13-to-1 student-teacher ratio. It's also going to be ranked the 5th best public school district in Monmouth County, which is a pretty good thing to have, I would say. Monmouth County is going to be pretty competitive in terms of school districts, and New Jersey as a whole in itself. So most lists you look on, New Jersey is going to be typically ranked 2nd, 3rd, or pretty much 4th across the entire U.S. for their public school district, which is a positive sign. And a lot of these are going to also go be in the northern and central parts of New Jersey. where I also would say you have the most funding because of your tax dollars too. We just mentioned that the cost of living in Matawan is going to be pretty high because of the property taxes. Well, most of your school's funding is also going to come from there. So obviously they're going to have a little bit extra to play with compared to other parts of just New Jersey, the country, or like I said before, Monmouth County even too. So it's going to be a pretty highly rated school district over there. Now, one caveat I will say that we're going to have here in Jersey, a couple headlines recently, is they did lower the standard to become a teacher in New Jersey. So what happens is they don't have people that want to become a teacher now, because we have a pretty big shortage, is they don't have to go past the basic math, writing, and English courses or English tests like they had to previously. Apparently this was too much of a barrier and they lowered it. Now, most districts are still going to require them to take a test in their specialized study. So if you're a history teacher, you're looking to become one, you're going to have to take a history exam still. You're going to have a bachelor's degree, a certain minimum GPA over in college. So there are still going to be qualifications to it, but this one just kind of was signed into law recently. And obviously looking at a headline, if you're a parent, a lot of them aren't going to be happy about it. So it is something to look forward to. I don't think too much will change off the initial part of this law coming into place. I don't think things are going to drastically happen, but something to look out for if maybe New Jersey goes down the standings a little bit, and this could possibly be a reason, who knows. But as of right now, it stands Aberdeen, Matawan, or the Matawan Aberdeen School District is rated pretty highly. Con number 2 is going to be the limited nightlife over in Matawan. It's just not going to be one of those places you are thrilled or excited to go out in a sense. It's still very nice. They have a cute little downtown area that's actually been getting a makeover and been under construction recently. There's some good restaurants in the area. One of my personal favorites over there is going to be Maloney's. The Portuguese shrimp appetizer is awesome over there. And then also, if you're into beers, they have like 100 beers on tap that they constantly rotate. So really nice spot. But there are also things to do. You got axe throwing. There's a roller rink. They have adult leagues in, beach volleyball that's indoors. So there's things to do. It's just not necessarily a big nightlife, bar, nightclub, that kind of thing. You're not going to go catch a concert at PNC Bank Arts Center in Homedale and then be like, oh, we're going out to Matawan tonight or whatever. So it's just a little bit limited in that aspect, but there are still things to do, but it is more on the quieter side for a town. Before we head on over into our next points, if you're liking the video so far and getting some value from it, please smash the like button down below, or even leave a comment what things that you like about Matawan or don't. I know those taxis can be a little rough sometimes. But our goal for 2025 is to help as many people buy or sell in the Monmouth Ocean County area. So if it sounds like you, feel free to reach out. Don't be shy. We get calls, texts, emails from people just like you all the time, and we'd love to help you on your real estate goals. But with that being said, let's get back to the content you came here for. Pro number 3 are going to be the different recreational and outdoor activities that you have here in Matawan. So like I mentioned, there are things to do. It's just necessarily not like that typical nightlife, right? So you're going to have 2 different parks. The Headbury Hunting Trail is going to be one of them. This one's going to be nice if you're looking for just a light jog or get some walking done. This is going to be 24 miles of just paved path in a sense. So it's going to be relatively flat. You're not going to be doing a lot of hiking in there in a sense. So that's going to be great for just maybe a casual bike ride, jogging, walking, something like that. The other one's going to be Cheesecake State Park. This one's going to have a little bit more activities to go do. That's going to be your typical hiking, mountain biking. I think they have about up to 5 trails over there now that are going to be marked off. You can go fishing there. You have a picnic if you have a bunch of people you want to bring over. So a couple different things. Camping's another big one over there. And then you can also maybe go during the winter time. They have sledding. They got some ice skating. So a whole host of things at Cheesecake State Park. Con number 3, and this is a typical one here in New Jersey in a sense, and that's going to be the traffic congestion. We are the most densely populated state in the U.S., which means we have a lot of people in a smaller area, and that's going to be true for Matawan too, especially considering how great of a commuting hub it really is to get into New York City, right? So where you're going to hit, like, I guess the most traffic, or I guess maybe the peak times. Obviously, it's just going to be your rush hour, right? So in the morning, you're looking at about 6:30 to 8:30, somewhere in that range. You're going to have a lot of cars on the road, maybe 6 to 8 kind of. And then in the afternoon, it kind of flips things. You're going to be about from 4 to 6 p.m. So those are going to be the times you're going to have the most cars on the road, people going to work, and then also coming home from work. Maybe throw in a little school traffic in there, maybe some sport activities for them near like the high school and stuff. And that can kind of just get in the way a little bit, right? Also, Matawan's not going to be a town where you're going 50, 60 miles per hour in. It's going to be a little bit smaller. You're going to have some lights, and you're not going to be gunning it down the roadways, right? You're pretty much going to have probably 25 to 40 mile per hour speed limits in most places that you go. So if you do have to cut through town a little bit, it might take you a little bit extra longer to get maybe to the train station or get to the Garden State Parkway in a sense. So just in general in New Jersey, we do have a decent amount of traffic, and the rush hour times, just be ready for them a little bit. And those are going to be the top 3 pros and cons of what it's like to live here in Matawan. If you're thinking about moving to the area, feel free to reach out. All my contact information is down low in the comments and description. So whether you're 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, even you're out, it doesn't matter to me. Let's just get you on the right path towards your real estate goals. If you're looking to move to a different part of the Central Jersey area, check out 2 videos popping up, and hopefully they'll help out a bit too. Have a great day.